10 WTSO Madison and W265CD Madison. Take us anywhere on the free iHeartRadio app. Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Network is on the air. Talking Golf is brought to you by American Transmission Company, ATC, helping you keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong. American Family Insurance, insure carefully and dream fearlessly. Oak Park Place, offering senior living options for the lifestyle you deserve, with amenities and services for a carefree, independent way of life. And by the Princeton Club, a premier health club that combines state-of-the-art equipment with a highly trained staff and convenient locations. Now, here are your co-hosts of Talking Golf, Dennis Tiziani and Paul Brown.
And we welcome you to another round of Talking Golf from Cherokee Country Club in Madison on our Talking Golf Network. Along with Kevin Ryan and Dave McCann, Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown. And boy, I tell you what, we've been talking a lot about Jerry Kelly and Steve Stricker the last couple of weeks. But what a great thing, huh?
Yeah, they're really playing good. I had conversation 2 times now with Jerry, and really happy for him how he did. And
he played pretty well, especially yesterday.
Well, he shot, what did he shoot, 13 under? And then he shot 15 under. So he shot 28 under total in the last 2-3 round tournaments. I mean, it's pretty good,
But obviously, you got to be very happy for your son-in-law, and this is a big win, isn't it?
Well, it's a big win. It's a big win no matter if it's him or anybody. But that's a big thing. But he was looking forward to it. I think he really thought he could win them both. But after he didn't do so good in this one, I mean, he did good, but he lost. His focus immediately changed to winning another major.
Yeah, he was quoted after the American Family Insurance Championship as saying, I was ornery and I was cranky for a couple of days. I'm going to ask him if he's still cranky. I suspect he's not.
I don't know.
Cranky
for him. Cranky for him is not too cranky.
Also on our show tonight, Tim Rosefort is going to be on. He'll have some thoughts on Steve winning the tournament. And also about Nate Lashley, and that's a pretty good story, too. He won on the regular tour of the PGA event.
Yeah, that'll be good, and Tim will give us some insight into that. But it just goes to show you, how the development program to the PGA Tour is really taken over. You take a look at that list on how many of those people succeeded on web.com or the new one here, Thorn, whatever that's called, how they really prepared. So when they come there, these guys are ready to go. They can play.
And, of course, our third guest, our normal guest, joining Dennis and myself almost every week, and we're glad to have him. But he wound up being a television star. Gary D'Amato is down in South Bend, and
what kind of
he's standing there behind the 18th green with
kind of a shirt did he have on? He looked like he was a Hawaiian of some sort. He was going, not Hawaiian, but at least Hawaii, some pink shirt. I didn't even recognize him. Haircut. Wow. Yeah. Since he retired, he's really something.
Well, he was down there with the Golden Dome and Notre Dame. He had to clean himself up a little bit.
Dreaming. He's dreaming.
But he'll give us his perspective of being behind the ropes and involved in the press coverage of that tournament and that kind of thing. A question came up in terms of Steve. And, in fact, Kevin was asking you this right before we went on the show. Talking about Steve's swing, he said, will you explain to me downloading and how that might even relate to Steve?
Nobody's going to understand this. Why do you ask me a question like
Just
that?
make it simple. You got the capability to do that.
Oh, boy, all right, I do simple. When he is commentary says he doesn't wrist cock. He doesn't set on the way back. No, he doesn't set. He rotates. Radial torque is distance. He's been taught about radial torque. However, you need to have hand action, and you'll notice that there isn't a lot of wrist cock at the end of his swing set. There isn't a lot of hinging. But when he comes down into the strike zone, he downloads. There's where the hinge will happen, right at the download. And there's a lot of good players who do that. Sergio, very good ball striker. A guy by the name of Ben Hogan. These are people who did that. So he understands about that. Now, he can do that because hands for him and his forearms, you see his arms are like your leg. He's strong. You have to be strong to do that. However, if you can do that, there's not a lot of chance to hit it crooked, which he doesn't do. So it's not a new thing, certainly, but it's something that, is it a risk when you show somebody that? It is if they're strong enough to do it.
And he's obviously been doing it a long time, hasn't he?
Well, yeah. He's been doing it a while. I don't think a while, meaning when he was college-wise and stuff like that, he couldn't keep his driver in the fairway, to the right, and take a 3-wood and take a divot with a 3-wood off the tee. The short game in putting, though, was superior all the time. I mean, there was not a lot there. But we did do some work on how he was able to turn the ball. You notice all his flight paths. It's flat and right to left.
Well, and as you described this, he picked up some wheelbarrow money, $720,000.
Yeah.
And
Nikki was the one.
Nikki was happy, huh?
Well, she made her 10%, $75,000. But then the big deal is, remember, she gets half of what's left over. So she did good,
So she made more money than he did.
Or she probably she was the leading money winner actually in the tournament.
And he was quoted as saying after the tournament, she can have whatever she wants.
Yeah, right. Well, he's happy, happy spouse, happy house, happy wife, happy life. He gets it,
Well, we'll be back to chat with Steve Stricker right after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
At American Transmission Company, we help operate the most complex machine in the world, the grid. We know electricity is a necessity, and we help deliver it to communities that need it. We're helping build a more efficient, economical, and reliable electric system. Our ingenuity and innovation help deliver electricity that powers lives today and tomorrow. American Transmission Company, helping to keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong.
Hi, this is Dave Gary, the owner of the Princeton Clubs. Our summer launch event is going on now through May 18th with everything you need to get in shape for the summer, including the latest group training programs, our world-class facilities, plus special offers for current and new members through May 18th. Our For a Better Tomorrow campaign partner this month is UW Children's Hospital of Madison. For every new member, we make a donation to a local organization that's working hard to improve the communities wherever a Princeton Club is located. Summer is just a few weeks away, so I invite you to make a difference in your health today by joining the Princeton Club. And with our summer launch event going on, it's a great time to get started. I think you'll be surprised how much better you feel just after a few workouts. The Princeton Clubs, voted Madison's best health club year after year. Visit PrincetonClub.net for a free trial pass and to learn more about our summer launch event.
We're committed to excellence, the Princeton Club. We're committed to you.
This brown bag lunch, this staycation, this do-it-yourself oil change, this second shift at work. At American Family Insurance, we understand what it takes to make your first home a reality. It's the same as it takes to protect it. For home, auto, life, and business. Visit amfam.com to learn more. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison.
Nope,
Wisconsin.
no answer yet.
W265CB Madison.
Hi, this is Paul Brown, longtime Badgers sportscaster. My wife was only 57 years old when she started having trouble remembering things at work and getting lost driving home. That was the start of a heartbreaking 8-year journey that led to her eventual passing from Alzheimer's. Please don't ignore the 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's. Know where Alzheimer's hides. Find information at alz.org/Wisconsin.
Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
Right now, Cherokee Country Club is offering outstanding introductory golf memberships. You can join Cherokee as an individual member for $2,400. Depending on your age, you can get a family membership that starts at only $2,900. Check it out for yourself. What you're going to find is the best deal in Madison when it comes to joining a club. And by the way, your membership also allows you to use the outdoor pool. You can play tennis for court cost only and use all the facilities at the Princeton Club and go to the Madison Club. If you're a business, Cherokee offers a voucher program that allows you to purchase 20 rounds of golf, good for 18 holes with golf cart for only $1,500. What a great way to entertain your clients, customers, or employees. Cherokee also offers memberships for swimming and indoor and outdoor tennis. And the public is welcome to use the driving range, restaurant, banquet facilities, and you can book a wedding there. For more information, call 249-1000 or visit the website at CherokeeCountryClub.net. And we're back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network, along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown, and we're trying to make contact with Steve Stricker right now, so hopefully we'll be able to get him here in a couple of minutes. Of course, Steve winning his second major That is an accomplishment in itself. But do you think now his approach may change in terms of playing more majors on the Champions Tour?
Oh, I don't know. I listened to Curtis Strange, and he's talking about in order for him to dominate on the senior tour, he would have to play full time out there. And I'd like to ask this guy, how much domination do you need? I mean, in the last tournaments, he's won 2 majors in the last couple of weeks and stuff like that. I don't think that that's a big item on his plate. I know it's not. The big item is he still thinks he can compete, and he can on the big tour. He's got a lot of pulls, with this business with the Ryder Cup and stuff like that. I mean, he's got a lot of pulls with that. I think he's going to be an assistant vice captain with the President's Cup also. So, he's got a lot of stuff on his plate. It's that in itself, to have the concentration level to play like he's playing, is quite a feat.
And the way he played over the weekend, do you think it turned for him when he chipped in on 12? Do you think that's when he goes, okay, I'm okay now?
Yeah, I think that, well, obviously that was a dagger.
Yeah.
But, when you've got 7, when you have 7-shot lead, I mean, how are you going to do? A guy would have to shoot 63 to tie if he just shoots even par. And there's no way he was going to shoot more than even par.
And on the regular tour, Nate Lashley, that's a pretty interesting story in itself. He had lost his girlfriend. He had lost his parents in a plane crash. He turned to real estate and he was flipping houses. And all of a sudden, he tries to qualify for the tournament in Detroit. He didn't get in. He failed to qualify on the Monday deal, became an alternate, and wins the tournament.
Right. That just goes to show you a little bit, how good those guys really are, But sometimes, you don't want to say this, but sometimes you have an incident like that unlocks a little bit of what you've got stored up, and you have a different reason to produce or to play better. You don't want to say, boy, glad you lost your parents, you lost your girlfriend. You don't want to say that. However, something like that gets a little bit more, well, maybe I can be a little bit more freewheeling, and there you have it,
Well, and think about this. He not only wins his first tournament title, he wins over $1 million, which he's never done. But look at what he gets now in terms of exemptions. 2 years, Masters.
2 after this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Masters, U.S. Open, I mean, on and on it goes. So the world opens up. And the big item is what he starts to make or what he can make off the course, because those numbers here are astronomical also. So he's going to change his whole life.
And we're waiting. We're trying to make contact with Steve to make sure that he comes on the program here. And hopefully we'll be able to get him in the next couple of minutes.
He might have hurt his back.
Doing what?
He fell off his wallet. I mean, it could have happened, I mean. No, I'm kidding.
And Tim Rosefort will be on the program in a little while. And Tim, of course, covers golf at every level. And Gary D'Amato was also down in South Bend. And we'll chat with him a little bit later on as well.
We could bring Bobby on, and talk to somebody that makes some sense.
Yeah, except we don't have a third headset set up here right now. So we kind of got caught in a bad situation here. Otherwise, we could have Bobby.
If we had a good producer here, we could get
I think she's probably texting her dad saying,
where are you? Where are you?
By the way, are you going on the show tonight? We'll find out what's going on here.
He's sleeping.
A couple of reminders. We talk about now that the tournament is over at UW Ridge. We have 50 golf passes. Some of them have been sold. Legitimately, some of them are gone for Wild Rock and Wisconsin Dells, and also for UW Ridge. The $50 includes a golf cart, and it's an opportunity for you to play 2 of the outstanding courses in this area. The money comes to the Golf Effect. You don't even have to give it to the golf courses. Just go on the golfeffect.org website, and it says golf passes on there. You order the passes, you pay for them through PayPal, and they're sent through Cherokee to you. So it's an opportunity. You can take a foursome up, or maybe take 8 people up, and there's your 2 pretty good opportunities.
So what does it include again? $50 includes what?
I know you want me to say golf car.
Now you're cooking. See,
but everybody else in the world of golf says golf cart. But Dennis, he wants golf cart.
Well, a cart is something you push or pull. A car is something you ride.
Yeah.
That's simple as that. You can't argue with a fact, you know.
Yeah, you always say that. Well, you can't argue with a fact.
No,
but
it's a fact.
it is. They're two of the nicest golf courses in the state, and you can play them for $50.
Oh,
And
there's no
that in
question.
itself is
Oh.
a heck of a value.
Right.
And so don't hesitate. Those passes normally go very fast. We really haven't promoted them that much because of the tournament at UW Ridge, and the restriction on Wild Rock is Monday through Thursday. Any Monday through Thursday through the remaining part of the golf
As
season.
time goes on, Wild Rock will be a little bit more of a
Steve's on.
site for major tournament type stuff. Now, not major as in tour, but people then get to realize how good that place is.
I think we got to thank Bobby. We understand her dad is on the line right now.
Well, you know, you give women something to do and they get it done. You know what I'm saying?
Steve, welcome to the show. Congratulations on winning your second major. I say this in a kidding way. I don't think you'd be ornery or cranky right now, would you?
No, but I still think about that missed putt.
This has got to be one of the highlights for you, is it not, Steve? Where does winning the U.S. Senior event, where does it stack up for you in terms of your career?
Yeah, you know, I was asked that question yesterday in the media center, and you know, it's hard pressed not to think of anything else that's more meaningful. You know, I mean, this is it's our national open on the senior level. It's I was never able to win a USGA event at any level, and you know, it felt like a major. You know, I mean, it felt important. So it's right up there with any of my wins on tour for sure.
Playing with a lead, approaching the way you look at it. How were you thinking about it? And you said that is really a difficult thing to do that a lot of people don't understand. Kind of explain your thought process there.
Yeah, it was a struggle. You know, I mean, first of all, our tee time wasn't until 3:25 in the afternoon on both Saturday and Sunday. So you had all that time to just kind of sit on it and wait and think about it, and sit on it and wait and think about it some more. You know, I mean, it seemed like the tee time never got there. And that was the hard part, is just trying to control your emotions. And, you know, I don't know how many times you can go through a round in your head before it starts, but I was doing it, you know, and just trying to figure out what I want to do. And, you know, with a 6-shot lead going into Sunday, it was everything to lose kind of thing, and anything more to gain except to win the tournament, and which is a big deal. But just, you know, all the pressure was on me to you know, I was supposed to win that with that amount of lead, and that's that starts playing on your mind.
Steve, watching you on television, you and Nikki, when you chipped in at 12, I'm only guessing here, but it looked like the read on your face was almost like, okay, now we got this thing under control. Is that fair or not fair?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a better feeling watching that ball disappear into the hole. It was, yeah, you know, I mean, I made the turn with a 7-shot lead, and then I go ahead and bogey 10 and Jerry birdies, and all of a sudden I lose 2 right away, and that was an uncomfortable feeling. And you know, at that point, when I made the turn, I'm thinking, you know, let's just make pars. That's all I really need to do. Just don't do anything dumb and play your game, drive it in the fairway, hit it on the green, and 2-putt and move on kind of attitude. And, you know, as soon as I made bogey at 10, it kind of made me a little uncomfortable. But again, I still, you know, had a 5-shot lead and with only 8 holes to play. And I just figured if I don't do anything dumb, it'll be okay. But, yeah, the chip in on 12 was huge, you know, and we were talking, Nikki and I told her, you know, I'm still waiting to see a chip in. And she's like, so am I. So we were talking about it right before it happened. So it goes to show you, you know, with just a positive attitude and thinking about things, sometimes they happen.
Steve, we were chatting about it before you came on. A great compliment was paid to you by Curtis Strange. He called you the cream of the crop on the Champions Tour. And he did say it'd be nice if you'd play more, but at the same time, he's obviously saying right now, you're the premier player on the tour. When somebody says something like that, how does it make you feel?
Yeah, it makes me feel good. And that's, that's why I continually struggle on where to play. I still feel like I've got some game to play on the regular tour. Things would have to really, go my way to contend out there probably. But the way I hit it the first 3 days here at the Senior Open was very promising and very exciting for me. That's as good as I've hit it in a long, long time, and consistently for 3 days. And then to start making some putts was good to see as well.
Would you look at playing more majors now in the Champions Tour, or do you look at the regular tour? And one date where you have been loyalist is the John Deere Classic, for an example. You might be faced to make a decision eventually on something like that.
Yeah, that is my next decision. It's either the John Deere or the Senior Players Championship, which is a major out there as well. So it is. It's something that I'm thinking about already. Which direction am I going to go? And I don't know the answer yet. I'll commit to both tours, and I'll have till next Monday really to decide. But yeah, I'm up in the air. I really don't know where to go. I mean, John Deere is a special place. I still feel like, I could win there again. And if I hit it the way I did, who knows? So it's going to be I wish they were different weeks.
Yeah.
I wish they weren't the same weeks, but
hey, and one of the other bonuses you picked up now, talking about the U.S. Open at Wingfoot next year. Now you're in it.
Yeah, that is a bonus. And that's kind of what makes me, kind of lean towards the Senior Players Championship is if you can get in contention and maybe win that one, it gets you in the regular Players Championship at Sawgrass. So those are all the little carrots that dangle out there, and you got to try to figure out, which way to go, I guess.
Well, we want to congratulate you and thank you for your time. And it was a lot of fun to watch, Steve.
Thank you
very much. That's Steve Stricker. We'll be back with Tim Rosafort after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
This brown bag lunch, this staycation, this do-it-yourself oil change, this second shift at work. At American Family Insurance, we understand what it takes to make your first home a reality. It's the same as it takes to protect it. For home, auto, life, and business. Visit amfam.com to learn more. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
How does your home bring you to life? At Oak Park Place, life comes to you. You'll find comfortable living spaces and spacious apartments with all the features you expect in a place to call home. And Helping Hands provides support when you need it. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more about assisted living, memory care, and rehabilitation services at Oak Park Place, East Madison, Baraboo, Janesville, and our newest location in Tacoma, just off Midvale Boulevard. We're here to help. Oak Park Place.
It's time to play the University Wisconsin golf course, University Ridge. Brand new bunkers and subtle design changes have only added to the excellent value, making it one of the best deals in the Midwest. The proud host of the American Family Insurance Championship is open to the public and one of the only PGA Tour champion facilities that you can play for under $100. For rate information and to reserve a tee time, check out universityridge.com.
Tim's
play
on.
where the Badgers and the pros play, University Ridge.
Hi, this is Paul Brown, longtime Badgers sportscaster. My wife was only 57 years old when she started having trouble remembering things at work and getting lost driving home. That was the start of a heartbreaking 8-year journey that led to her eventual passing from Alzheimer's. Please don't ignore the 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's. Know where Alzheimer's hides. Find information at alz.org/Wisconsin.
Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
Driving rain, precipitation, downpour, cats and dogs. There are many names for bad weather, but to handle them, you only need one name. Mercedes-Benz with 4MATIC Permanent All-Wheel Drive. 4MATIC All-Wheel Drive enables better traction, giving you more certainty to negotiate surprises. So whether you're navigating slippery, wet pavement or tricky off-road puddles, it helps give you more confidence in a thunderstorm, a deluge, wet stuff. 4MATIC all-wheel drive is available on more Mercedes-Benz models than ever before. Get the 2019 GLC 300 4MATIC starting at just $42,700. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
MSRP for a 2019 GLC 300 4MATIC excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. Always drive carefully, consistent with conditions. See dealer for details.
Test drive the Mercedes-Benz 4MATIC at Zimbrick European on Rimrock Road off the Beltline, or shop ZimbrickEuropean.com.
Wild Rock is Wisconsin's best kept secret in golf. Just a short trip to the Dells, Wild Rock will have you feeling miles from anywhere with a secluded and scenic yet challenging golf experience. For the listeners of this station, you can play Wild Rock weekdays during the summer for $79, which includes golf, lunch, and a Wild Rock hat when you book online using promo code Madison. That's right, $79 for golf, lunch, and a hat when you book online using promo code Madison at wildrockgolf.com. That's wildrockgolf.com.
Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network, along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown, and joining us now is Tim Rosefort from Golf Digest, Golf World, the senior writer there, and also the Golf Channel. And Tim, welcome to the show. We should start with, we held you up that last time we had you on. Did you ever make that putt?
I gave it to myself and walked away.
There you go. No, that would be like
that's the right thing to do, and that's
it. Yeah. Pick it up.
Tim, obviously in the state of Wisconsin, primarily, of course, here in the city of Madison, people are ecstatic with the success and the championship that Steve Stricker picked up his second major on the Champions Tour over the weekend, and you followed golf for many, many years. What do you think, if at all, it makes a difference now that he's won a couple of majors on the Champions Tour in terms of his overall status and achievements?
Well, I think that, there are players like Steve that, didn't win major championships, but won senior major championships on top of a great career. What does Steve have? Had 12 wins on the regular tour,
right.
Something like that. And so, there's no sort of set rule as far as how people may judge that or not judge it at all. To me, obviously, it's just another example of Steve's greatness, and his tenacity and his perseverance and all the things he went through, to play the type of golf he's playing now. I mean, you and I have spoken, it was a couple of years ago, and you had said it was as good as he'd ever been playing, and he was, I guess, barely into his 50s at that point in time. So he's a timeless guy, and he's got a lot more fire, I think, than people think. We kind of laugh and make fun of him crying all the time, but he's if he isn't the most popular and favorite guy out there, then he's a close second, I'd have to say. And but it shows that he's still got plenty of golf left in him, and I think it just showcases what a class act he's been more than anything else for many decades.
Tiz, from your point of view, and you obviously know him very, very well, based on what Tim was just saying about his accomplishments, and still got that tenacity and that fire and that kind of thing, I don't think you would probably say he's got a lot more than people really realize.
Well, he's different on the inside than what he lets out on the outside. He's a competitor. And if you take a look at some of why is he so good around the greens and good putting? And I think you have to have, we talked about the vision part, but you have to have this concept of what is going on. And he has if you've ever seen some of the caricatures that he makes out of wood, those type of things of design capability he has, where he's looking at this stuff with a total different eye. And even when we talk about golf and the golf swing, he's one about feel. Okay, feel. My comment always is, does feel make you have the physics, or does physics give you the feel? He doesn't want to talk about that because he wants the feel. So it's up to somebody like me to go ahead to interject the physics that give him the feel. Then all of a sudden, okay, I got it. Let's go. That's how it works. I got it. Let's go. And once he gets in there, that trap, it works out pretty good. But he has a different conceptual package that he has internally. and he has a different competitive package too. I mean, Jerry's his friend. I hear that all the time. Jerry's his friend.
But he still wants to beat him. Right?
He wanted to bury him. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. I mean,
And Jerry feels the same way.
well,
I'm
Jerry's
sure.
a competitor too, but
Sure.
you know,
Yeah, and in part the fact that Jerry beat him in Steve's tournament was a point of motivation for him as it
no
relates
question,
to
no question.
playing the type of golf that he showed. And I still have this vision of Steve and Nikki. I think maybe one of their children way back, decades ago, at a bagel place not far from Bay Hill. You know,
Yep.
just starting his career and all the friends he's made along the way. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but Billy Andrade's he's great with the one putts, and he's also great with one liners. And when Stricker was going crazy and beating everybody by 20 shots or whatever, exaggeration of the number, obviously, he said, here's the bulletin. Steve Stricker's a jerk. You know, because
Yeah, well, he does. He's
he
got
was
that.
playing so well and closing everybody else out.
He has that, but the other part of it is he has a very deep understanding, feeling for other people's feelings. That's what you talk about, how nice of a guy is like that. He's genuine when it comes to that. And I'll give you one little story. You know, Tim would appreciate this. He finished, he was leading in the Canadian Open a while back. Nicklaus was there. Steve wound up not doing so good and finished like sixth. In the locker room, they're walking towards one another and passing. And Jack, like always, you know, picks him up, puts his arm on his shoulder, looks at him. And Steve, he said, "Too bad you couldn't close the deal." That was a shocker right there. Too bad you couldn't close the deal. And those are little things, you know, that stuck in his mind to motivate him. So there in itself is a little bit of some of the things that made him, you know, in the time when it's time to play, it's time to play. He'll compete with you on everything. I mean, I can, even to this day, if we're chipping someplace, he's going to want to go ahead, let's put some balls on with Chip. And, you know, he wants to compete. He wants to win. So even though he's crying when he gets done, he ain't crying when he's playing. I can tell you that.
We're chatting with Tim Rosafort, and Tim covers all level of golf, spends obviously a lot of time on the PGA Tour. Over the weekend, there was another great story going on over in Detroit. Nate Lashley, here's a guy that's 36 years old, unfortunately lost his parents and his girlfriend in a plane crash. Guy's been selling real estate and flipping houses, and he went in as an alternate after failing to qualify on the Monday qualifier. Tim, kind of just talk a little bit about Nate Lashley and what a nice story that is as he picks up his first title.
Well, it's so tragic and so sad. And while this was obviously a high point from a competitive standpoint, it doesn't make up for the loss of obviously his mom and dad and his girlfriend at the time. And but it just puts a spotlight onto the perseverance factor that's out there on tour, and you see it from guys, whether it's Lashley or even in his own little world, not little world, but in his big world, Tiger Woods, and it's been a year of the comeback. If you look across from almost from beginning to where we are right now, and what Lashley did just to get his card and to get exempt status and get out on tour through, I don't know, I think it was the South American, Latino Americas tour, or it could have been the Canadian, but either way, you know, came an injury in addition to the heartbreak that he did, and then to get in the tournament after just missing in qualifying, and then getting in as a result of a WD, and then playing. That was some of the best golf I'd seen, not just this year, but in a long time. And now again, it wasn't Pebble Beach at the U.S. Open, but at the same time, it was a Donald Ross course, and Lashley owned it from all the pressure points right to the end, and you know, it was. I read today somewhere that Jim Nantz had this great line saying basically he can make 9 and still win. I mean, it just showed how much he dominated that tournament and the potential that's there now that he's got the first one in the bank, so to speak.
Tim, you follow it obviously very close. Who are some of the rising stars that the average golf fan, really doesn't pay a lot of attention to, that you think in the next couple of years is really going to come to the forefront?
Well, the kid Champ that we saw, he lost his composure a couple of times, but with his ability to hit the ball the way he did, and he won, I believe it was Sanderson Farms already, showed that he's got a little bit of growing up to do, but at the same time, the natural talent he has is incredible, and they come out in waves and waves. And this kid JT Poston, I met him. I went to Western Carolina where my wife went to school, and we were up there last year sitting out one of the hurricanes in Florida, and had dinner with him. And that kid's got some talent too. It's in the backstory is so funny. When he first showed up at the Honda Classic, I think it was 2 years ago, and he was mistaken in valet parking as one of the parking attendants, and somebody threw him their keys. and again, he wasn't an All-American at Oklahoma State or at Texas, but he's got a lot of talent too. And that's what makes the game of golf, especially on the professional level and on all levels really, is the ability for whether it's Lashley or JT to show up the way he did over the course of the weekend. Didn't close, but nobody was going to be Lashley last week, and it could be anybody at any time as long as they can control their emotions and not think too far ahead and stay focused and have that same feel that they had